Hey everybody, this is Ejo and welcome to the second video in my new series on the very basics of Python. And thank you for wanting to learn Python. I'm sure you will be greatly rewarded for learning this. So first things first, right, so you've seen in the previous video that we created a comment. I normally do this. I've got my title at the top, then I've got my name, and then I've got the date that I created the program. And if you put a little hashtag in front, it's called a comment. If you put that in, when you run the program, the interpreter will absolutely ignore it and just find the next code or execute what is there in terms of real code, which is at the moment there's nothing. So what I'm going to do is we're going to learn today about outputting information to the screen. So I'm just putting another little comment there just to say output. And the first thing you're going to learn is what we call the print function. The print function. And the way a function works is if you have anything, for example, any word like that is followed by an opening and closing bracket, that is a function. The print function is a built-in function used in Python. And the first one you're learning obviously is the print function. We've got our opening bracket, we've got our closing bracket, and then because we want to output something called string, which I will explain in the next video, the one after that, we want to output something to the screen, and we're going to use something called string, and that is used by quotation marks. So if I want to say, for example, hello world, it's something like that. And if I execute this program now, what it should show in the shell is just hello world, everything that is between the double quotes. And how you run it, you can click on run, and you can then say run module, or you can just press F5. So that's what I normally like to do. I would normally say F5 and enter. Enter means you want to save it, and because we created this file in the previous video, it's called output, or output new in my case. I'll just press enter, so F5 and enter, and a run, and there you can see you've got hello world right over here, which is quite cool. That's your first program. You just written a program that outputs the information that you decided it's going to output. So so this is string. So string is any text or characters or anything that's in between quotes is called string, and print is just going to output the information to the shell. And again, the shell, if I just do F5 and I don't have to enter this time because it's already saved, this is the Python shell. You can see there at the top why it's called the shell, and you can also recognize it because of the 3 greater than signs symbols over there. I'm just going to go ahead and close that, and we'll go on to the next one. So that is how you can put any information in between quotes and you can output it to the screen. So let's say that you want to create an empty line. I'm just going to say empty line, and to do that you can do print open, you can do double quotes and like that, but we won't see anything. We don't know if there's an empty line. I'll show you now. If I run it, if I enter, you will see, well, you can actually see it because you can see you've got this little line over there and the program stopped here, so you can see that that's what you just done, that empty line over there. So that's what that can do for you. It just gives you a little empty line as part of what you want to do. But just to show you that it actually works, I'm just going to do another one, and I'm going to say next line. So the next line will be there. If I do F5 and enter, you will see there's my empty line that I created, and here's the next line. If I just move this out of the way, you can see how this correlates over here. You can see we've got that part is over there. Oh, I wonder if my straight line tool will work if I do that. There we go. So you can see that one is there, our empty line is there, and then the next line is over here. So you can see how it's done that. Also, you can see that it's absolutely ignored that. It's ignored that comment, and it's also ignored that comment over there. You can't see it when it is executed. Okay, cool. So let me close that one, and that's something new. So you've learned how to output to the window. You've learned how to make a new line, and you can see how that works. So let's have a look at our next one. So you might see that I've used double quotes there. It's not always needed. Let's see, we can also use a single quote. The single quotation mark is what you can also use. So I can do, for example, single quote. It's just my habit is just to do double quotes, but I could, for example, just say using single quotation marks or something like that. And if I run this, F5 enter, you will see, there you go. You've got these ones that I've used using double quotes, and then I've got this one here that I've used single quotes to do that. So you can see that it is you can use either double or single quotes, doesn't really matter. But where it really comes into play is if, for example, let's say you've got a sentence. I'll use double quotes now. So let's say you've got a sentence where you have, for example, you've got an abbreviation of some sort, or an apostrophe s, or an apostrophe something. Then you can say, for example, I can't, single quote, wait to learn Python, for example. Whoops. Python. I can't wait to learn Python. So here you can see that I've actually used that word there with this little single apostrophe that I've put in there. So let's see how that turns out. So let's do F5 enter, and then you can see, there we go, it's all perfect. Let me just grab that thing again there. You can see it worked perfectly, not just the single quote, but the mixture of the single and double quotes. And that's somewhere where you can use a single quote, for example, to do that. So what happens if I did not do that? Let's have a quick look. So let's say I made this one a single quote, and I made that one a single quote, like that. Already you can see it did not turn green. Oh, that's the one thing I've got to tell you. If you use a single or double quotes, everything between quotes is green, and that's, you know, it's string. And although you've got a quote there and you've got a single quote there, it's not linked to this because it works in pairs. The first and the second one is together, and that is basically the third one. There's no fourth one. When we run this, we'll probably get an error. There we go. It says invalid syntax. It doesn't understand that. By the way, syntax means the rules of programming, and we just broke the rules of the programming in Python. It wouldn't actually show that. So if I just go back to how I had it, double quotes and a single quote, that's how you can use the mixture of the two. But if you did not have something like this that you wanted to use, you can use either double quotes or single quotes. Ooh, I made a little, I can't wait to learn Python. There we go. I can't wait to learn Python. And the final thing I want to show you in terms of outputting information to the screen is, let's say you've got 3 or 4 or 5 or 10 lines of words that you want to write, some string you want to output. You don't want to type print all the time. So what you can do in that case is you can use the triple quote. So it's a triple double quote, if that makes sense. So 3 times, and then you can do what you want. I normally go and I enter here, and then I can say something that, let's say we're writing a story. It was a hot day, for example. Press enter, and we decided to get ice cream. I hope my spelling is okay. Let me have a look. We decided to get ice cream. Let's say who's bringing the money, or whatever. I mean, you can go on and on and on, and then you finish it off with the triple quote again. Close your bracket. Now you will see you've got your print function once. You've opened bracket. You've got your 3 double quotes. You've got your 3 double quotes to finish it, and then you have some text in between. So let's see how that turns out. I'm going to do F5 and enter, and then you can see this is exactly what happened. There we have. Ooh, that's the wrong one. Let me press that again. Here we have the bit that we just typed. So we had the triple quote just before and the triple quote at the end, using the normal way of doing it. So here you can see, let me just highlight that again. Here you can see we have all of that over there. We've got our triple quote, and we've got our triple quote over here in our print function. So there we go. So that's how you do it. So outputting information to the screen. You learned how to use the double quote. You learned how to do a blank line. You learned how to use single quotes, and then you also learned how to do the triple double quote to show text that if there's loads of text you want to write. Thank you for watching. In the next video we'll look at a bit more tips and tricks when outputting information on the screen and making new lines, a quicker way to make new lines and tab spaces and things like that. So I hope to see you in the next video. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.